And now, back to the program. DDVRadio.com.
Hey, we're back. We got a special guest in studio, Triple J, a.k.a. Joe Friday, a.k.a. John Mancini from 911 Specialties, who made this beautiful mug right here. It's a Mike the Cop mug, walking the beat since 1987.
The real Mike the Cop.
Well, no, that's this one. That's the real Mike the Cop. And that's a story for another day, John. So what we're going to talk about is...
Now, can I ask a question? Why do they call you Joe Friday?
Good question.
Again, Eric, please don't let my conversation get in the way of your interruption. Go ahead. Ask your questions that you want to ask. Get them out of the way.
Just a name I came up with. And only true old-timers would really know who Joe Friday is.
You ever watch Dragnet, see?
Say, you're too young.
You ever watched the Dragnet? Joe Friday from Dragnet?
Yeah.
Just the facts.
I never heard of him.
What do you like? How old are you? That's why you probably never.
26.
I thought we went over that, 26.
Yeah. I was going to do like a little intro to why you're on the show, and then, fucking shit just breaks loose. So John was on last week. Something I wanted to talk about this week. This is a show about, police officers, their work and stuff like that. Inevitably, even though it's not a political show, politics will seep in because it's part of our daily lives. And I wanted to bring John in because I wanted to talk about a subject of a government overreach, where the government tries to get too involved in our daily lives and doesn't allow us to live our lives.
It's getting unbearable, I'm being
Right.
honest.
So, like you guys talked about last week, Virginia, right, where the Second Amendment people who have the right to bear arms, rose up and said enough is enough, and trying to beat back these amendments or these laws that the governor of Virginia, the racist governor who wears blackface of Virginia, wants to take away rights of gun owners.
Right.
And then just recently in New Jersey, we had the immunization issue, which it doesn't matter, at least in my eyes, what side you fall on, whether you for or against the religious right to be invoked to not have immunization. It's the government saying these are the things that you have to put in your minor child's body. And I just feel like everywhere we turn at this point in America, the government is telling us what's best for us. Another thing that just happened is with the vaping. We heard all these different stories. It was killing people. It turned out to be that was not actual, legalized or at the time legal vape. It was people using off-brand products and experimenting and putting weed in there and all sorts of different things.
Unknown ingredients.
Unknown ingredients, right. So John, besides owning 911 Specialties at 182 High Street in Nutley, New Jersey, also owns a vape store right next door. And we brought John on because we want him to talk about what's going on with the vape and in general, just what the government's doing in New Jersey. So go ahead, John.
Basically, what they're saying is the flavors were catering to children. That was their pretty much the whole argument, and they want to ban all flavors. Like anything else, the flavors are what adds. It's good for grown-ups. I know hundreds of people that stop smoking by vaping. And basically, if you go down a liquor store, you walk down any aisle, there's all flavors. There's cotton candy vodka. There's pumpkin. There's marshmallow.
Don't they even flavor like chewing tobacco now?
Everything's flavored.
Right.
What had happened is just like you said, they were the sources that they were getting their vape juice from was not FDA approved. It was THC. They were cutting it with vitamin E.
This is outside of the regulated, or at
Exactly.
least what was regulated, what you sold in your store and many other people did
Correct.
in their stores.
And as a matter of fact, the CDC did a report, came up with that, and said it was with the black market vapes that were causing the problems. They actually said it in the report that if you use vape to stop smoking cigarettes, do not go back to cigarettes. So now, basically, New Jersey passed the law that they're going to ban all the flavors. Phil Murphy already signed it. In 90 days, there's going to be no flavors. So now you have to ask yourself, what do people do? Do people go back to cigarettes?
Right, which is way more harmful. Even though there's not a lot of data on what the vape will do, I mean, I think it's the general consensus is it's still better than nicotine and cigarettes.
There's 480,000 deaths a year from cigarettes. And to allow that and ban vaping, the difference is here, and this is what people don't understand too. You're actually getting a combustion when you smoke a cigarette.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Where a vape is a vapor. That's the whole thing. So when you see the smoke, it's not really smoke. It's a vapor smoke. It's not really a combustible.
Now,
Right.
excuse my ignorance because I know my wife, she smokes cigarettes every once in a while, and she does the Juul. Is that the same as what you sell? In essence, it's the same but different, right? As far as
It's the same thing. It's different, and that's where they're getting at the.
Is that going to be banned too in Jersey? Juul?
The flavors are going to be banned
Yep.
on that too.
Interesting.
But here's the thing, though, right? Why when I first heard about the ban going on in New Jersey, New York, why don't we have the CDC, or not even that, the FDA or whoever regulates these products, find out the root cause of the recent death that we saw?
Well, they know what it was.
Well,
And
they found that they
Right,
did find that it was not.
and just regulate what kind of ingredients can you use on those vape flavor juices. Why outright ban them?
The FDA did do that. They came up with a program where it'll be approved, but they're
The
just
People's Public of New Jersey
Exactly.
decided. So just so we're clear, you were not supposed to have plastic straws. We're not supposed to have plastic bags. They give out needles for people who, and I get why they want to do that because they don't want to get infections passed around. But essentially, all research shows that 70% of the needles are not returned, so they're using them and they're winding up on the street. And in
San
garbage.
Francisco is having that problem with the needles.
Right. Well, all over the place, wherever they have these needle
Well, the
exchange
whole
programs.
thing too is if you had
Weed is being legalized, which listen. That's a story for another day. But at this point, it was or is an illegal substance that's going to be legalized. So it just feels like at their whim, the government, the state government, is picking and choosing what is okay for you to do and what's not. And that doesn't. It seems to me like an adult should be able to decide what they do and don't want to put in their body.
This is still America. You're still grown up. You can make.
Oh,
your
you
own
think
decision.
so, huh?
Yeah. Last
Yeah,
time I checked.
and speaking about
Well,
that,
here, let me finish that
Oh,
sentence
sure.
on that. So now you're going to ban flavors, and the choices are people are either going to go back to cigarettes, which is worse, or now you're going to have black market vapors,
Right.
which we already know is not good.
Those are the ones that were killing
Right.
people.
So
Yep.
all you did was escalate a problem.
I mean, I don't understand why New Jersey didn't just do what they do with everything else. Make it legal, tax the shit out of it.
But they did.
Exactly.
Like
Here-
they do with everything
here
else,
was
and
the
then
problem.
pocket the money.
They let it. They were selling it on eBay. They're selling it at bodegas, gas stations. Anybody that wanted it, there was no real regulation on it. If they put regulation on it, just like a liquor store,
Right.
make it vape stores only, and have some kind of tracking on it, you would solve the problem. This is a knee-jerk reaction,
Right.
and it really, not to get political, but went right down.
Too late.
Party,
Too late.
went
well,
right down party lines.
Apparently, we
Right.
always do a knee-jerk reaction. Only in this country, always does a knee-jerk reaction. And what they don't realize is that this created a new era of prohibition.
That's what it's going to be.
It's not the liquor prohibition. Now it's going to be the vape prohibition era.
Not that. You put 300 businesses
Out of business.
out of work, 4,000 people. You
Right.
lost revenue on sales tax. You lost revenue on nicotine tax. You lost revenue on people's paychecks.
Is there any hope for this law? Is there
No.
anything pending or? Something that can
They're
be
saying
done?
they're still trying to negotiate different deals. It's kind of tough right now because they won.
Right.
There's 90 days, and then there's going to be panic, and who knows what's going to happen.
So at the end of this 90-day period, that's when it's totally illegal. Vape is still there, but no flavors.
And the whole thing is, if you take away, and this is what they're not getting too, you take away the flavors,
Right.
the business is done.
Right. It's like juice.
Right.
Like I want juice, but am I only going to be able to drink the thing called juice, or can I want fucking apple juice? I want orange juice. I want
Maple
watermelon.
syrup.
People don't like the taste of tobacco.
I never had maple syrup juice, but okay.
That's
Well,
why
I
that's
did.
why they
It's
went
pretty
to
good.
All right.
they went to flavors because people didn't like the taste of the tobacco.
Right.
They weren't doing it for the tobacco taste. So and to say that Captain Crunch is a kid's flavor.
Bullshit.
I eat Captain
love
Crunch
Captain
all the
Crunch.
time, man. So
I'm
you
not
know,
crazy about the peanut butter Captain Crunch.
No,
in
straight
a
Captain
pinch, I
Crunch.
might, but regular Captain Crunch is the one I like.
Straight Captain
It's
Crunch.
like, I have a question for you, Tom. Why?
All right, well, maybe we should get somebody named Tom to come in here for you to ask them a question. That's John.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I've been called.
Fuck our guests.
Today I'm like kind of.
Yeah, I know you're probably still thrown off about. It's okay. Listen, I forgave you on the Sydney thing. It's all right. Don't worry. Get it out of your mind, and let's treat our guests with respect by calling them by their God-given names.
Oh, how about Mr. Mancini? How about that?
That's my father.
So I have a question. Why do we believe? Why the government always believe that banning stuff always work? Why? when historically it didn't.
Well, here's another thing. Now they're going to ban flavors. They get away with it. What next? What do they start attacking next if they don't like something? And here's the thing that was real interesting too. They had in that same ban menthol cigarettes.
Oh no, that ain't gonna happen.
Right before it went to vote, that got pulled out.
Menthol cigarettes and 25-cent grape juices got pulled right out of the.
Why would you think something
bologna
like that would
sandwiches.
happen? That's big tobacco. There's a lot of
I
deep
don't know,
pockets
like-
there.
Let me chime in. I was.
Oh shit! Hey Eric,
Hey, Mike.
forgot you were over there. Damn.
So I went into a store in Manhattan the other day.
A what?
I went into a store.
Oh, I thought you said toy store.
No.
A store.
And I bought cigars from a store.
Right.
And some guy walks in, said, I want to buy a flavored vape. So why do they still sell flavored vapes in New York?
Well, every state is different, Eric. There's state laws and then there's federal laws. So in New York, if they decide, which I'm surprised,
It's
that they,
coming.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought they did, and then they found it.
I thought they regulated it to a sense where they said it would still be okay where it was regulated like in a liquor store or a legitimate department store type situation, but not in like gas stations, bodegas, and stuff like that.
Well, the vaping industry,
But they're filling them in the back,
they don't have any problem with regulations. They were the ones saying you should regulate it. It shouldn't be able to go on eBay and get it. You shouldn't go to a bodega and get it.
Right.
Make it a strict environment, just like you do alcohol. Just don't kill the whole business and put a whole industry out of business. It doesn't make any sense.
And what did you want to talk about, Chris? Something related to this.
Oh
you wanted
yeah.
to talk about and see if John had any.
Now that we're talking about this issue right here, there's some. It's more of a segue transition of what I'm going to talk about is. You know that when you turn 18, you are treated as an adult, right? If you commit a crime, you're trial as an adult in court.
I'm seeing an obsession with the age
At
of
18,
18.
At 18, you're an adult,
Don't we
right?
let this
We're
go?
coming back to it.
Right, but apparently you cannot buy a lottery ticket. You cannot go to a club. You cannot drink, but you can sign up for a credit card, get a loan, get a student loan, buy a house, go to the military, get a driver's license. So why do we like to believe in 18-year-old? Oh, I'm an adult, but I can't do certain things because I'm not 21 yet. But I can get into that. I can borrow like 5 credit cards. I could buy
real
5
quick,
cars.
Chris.
I can sign up to the military, go overseas, kill people for global wars that we have.
Chris,
Why is that?
Chris, real quick, you could buy lottery tickets and scratch offs at the age of 18.
Where in this state?
Yes, I was buying them at 18.
Yeah, but
Well, that doesn't mean that it's legal. You were buying weed when you were fucking 12, Mo.
Yeah, but weed's not legal.
Well, 12 allegedly. I don't know what it is. Fucking age.
It was 10.
Yeah,
but
All right, I was just trying to be funny.
my-
10. Oh, nice.
my
Class.
question is, John, why we tell our 18-year-olds they're adults, but you cannot drink? Why is that?
That's a real good question. I know that vaping is 21 in Jersey.
Right.
So
So they already had an age set,
they
an
already
older
had an
age.
age
They had
set.
an age set at 21 years old. So really only the people that could buy it or adults, right? So now you're saying you don't trust the store owners to. I mean, there's ways to enforce that. You send somebody in like you do a booze or anything else. You
Exactly.
send an underage in there. They buy it. Boom. Next thing you know, they find a place, close it down. They make money that way too.
I mean, we've actually turned away business because a parent would come in with a child, 16 under 21, and tell us they're buying it for. Then we have to kill the sale right there. We have to say you can't do that. You can't come in and tell us it's for someone else that's underage.
And I'm really upset because way back in the beginning when you were doing this, I don't know if people don't know this, but I don't know if you remember, I came up with a great flavor when Trump was running for president. Make America vape again.
I still have that.
Yeah, and I never got my cut. I never got my 5 cents per sale, and now I never will. Fucking Murphy.
But I don't see, if you won a fight, why would you concede anything at this point? But he buried a lot of business. A lot of people, that was their livelihood. He put everybody out of work, lost money.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
And they're still saying they're looking for tax reform. They want to tax it more. There's nothing there to tax it
Yeah,
anymore.
once you
You
take away the flavors,
it's
yeah.
done.
And then that leads to increased taxes, increased property taxes, increased business taxes, which equals more people moving out, less people starting businesses in New Jersey.
I think they did it in Pennsylvania too. They raised the tax so high that
Right.
everybody just
I've seen
closed.
quite a few of those stores close in Pennsylvania
closed.
as well. Yeah.
So it's like that's a thing that like from time to time I always wonder when I was like 19 or 20, I can't drink, but I can sign up for a student loan. Why? Why do we like nowadays see young people in debt, but we can't let them go to a club?
You're only half an adult, I guess.
Yeah, is there logic behind that?
Two-thirds.
Two-thirds of adult. There is none, but they bounce between 18 and 21 all the time.
When they see fit, when it's gonna
exactly,
benefit them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, how they
Because-
deem
Let's
you
hope
as an
this
adult.
clown is a one and done, and we get him voted out. I mean,
Yeah, because in Europe, for example, or in Canada, I went to Montreal for New Year's.
a lot of good strip clubs I hear up there in Montreal.
I haven't
Montreal and Vancouver.
I haven't been to a strip.
don't know.
I haven't been to a strip club
Allegedly.
in Montreal, which I
Julie.
regret. I should have gone there. But in Montreal, for example, 19 you can drink. At 19 you could go to a casino and play blackjack. 21, you got it?
Well, here's another question too. If Murphy's offer weed,
Right,
with weed comes edibles.
right.
Are you going to allow gummy bear edibles?
Unflavored gummy bears, edibles.
How-
What's
how-
the world coming to? I want a cherry. I want a grape. I want an orange.
You got to ban the flavors on that.
Right. I want it in my brownie. My brownie's not going to be. I can't have a flavored brownie. It can't be
So,
chocolate brownie,
You know what I
blonde
mean?
brownie.
So now he's setting precedents. So you're going to have, you can't say we're going to ban vaping for 2,500 deaths, but the 480,000 people dying from cigarette smoke, that's okay. We're not going to worry about.
Yeah, and
Well, apparently you can.
I'm sorry.
Crazy, right? Eric,
Yeah.
what's going on over there with you? You're just sitting there.
No,
you're not
I'm
saying
enjoying the
anything.
conversation.
Right. What do you want? We beaten this.
Is Eric having a stroke?
No, we have 3 minutes left before we go to break. What do you want to talk about? Is there anything on your mind? Is there anything you want to talk about?
Well, Chris keeps repeating himself about the age of 18.
I didn't ask you to attack anybody in the room. What I said was, is there anything that you wanted to talk about that was on your mind? Is there anything you want to speak about or anything?
maybe he's
Chris,
in
you
La
don't
La
feel
Land
like-
too much.
Chris. Neutral corners. Eric, is there anything you don't feel? You don't like your normal self today. You're being very quiet. I'm a little concerned. Is there some? You're amongst friends here, and all listeners love you. Is there anything you want to talk about or anything
I
you
think
want
he's missing Holly. I'm not sure.
No, I mean, Chris,
I love Holly.
Chris says he's never been to a strip club.
Okay.
And Montreal, not in New Jersey. I've been to New Jersey in strip clubs, but when I went to Montreal, it didn't occur to me to search for a
Put
strip
your
club.
cell phone down. Put your cell phone down.
When you say strip clubs,
Put your cell phone down.
put like you've been to strip clubs. Just say I've been to a strip club in New
Eric,
Jersey.
we're losing control here. Eric, go ahead.
So, how long were you in Montreal for?
For 2 days.
So you could have gone for one of those days.
It didn't occur to me. That's the problem because it was New Year's. I was drunk, went to casino.
All right, show of hands, everybody in the room, who has been to a strip club? Wait, you've been to a strip club?
Here in New Jersey, yeah.
Oh,
Chris,
which one?
Chris,
The one
Chris, how much money have you spent at a strip club?
like 150.
By the way, I only went for research. I was doing a story for my high school paper.
Yeah, I go
Julie.
I go to research at least twice a week.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing a lot of research.
I
Hey,
bet-
do you know though that those straps that hold the $100 singles,
That's skinny
Do not-
jeans, everybody. By the way,
do not
speaking.
hold up when you smack the $100 stack on the ass. Does not hold up. Do you know that?
No.
That's
So,
what
Eric,
research gets.
How do you
So-
go to strip clubs and not know that?
So Eric, what was your question to Chris about? You didn't believe that he's. What was your situation? What was going on? What do you want to know?
No, I asked him
What'd you ask him?
about the strip club.
Wow, I just made it clear. It didn't occur to me when I was in Montreal because I was so excited to be in Montreal for the first time. I was more focused about looking at the streets, the city, the vibe, the people. It didn't occur to me to search for a strip club.
When you
in
go to
Montreal.
a strip club in New Jersey, allegedly, do you set a budget? Like, do you say to yourselves?
yeah,
Do you say to
I
yourself,
do. Yeah,
How much money do you allot for the festivities? In the
100, 150.
100 and 150.
Okay, describe the people from Montreal to New York and New Jersey. How would you?
Is there a currency?
Eric,
currency
Eric,
exchange in
I
Montreal?
had him giving us information on his mind and what happens when he's in a strip club, and now you want him to do comparisons on the people
Yes,
of
I want to
fucking
hear
Montreal.
I want to hear what he has to say.
Can we finish the first question? I want
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
we're gonna go to break after he finishes this question. I really need to know. So you set your 100 to 150,
Yeah.
right? How much of that is allotted to like VIP champagne room type
No,
situations.
I say like 40%.
where the strippers read like
40%,
lullabies to you.
40% is dedicated towards liquor, drinks, and the rest is for lap dances.
Lap dances.
Yeah.
Not even just the same, like total. And listen, this is, you're
How
supporting.
many lap dances do you get?
and this is just like you're supporting people who are trying to work their way
Yeah,
through
yeah,
college,
college.
and stuff. So
Yeah,
you're
law
actually
school,
contributing
law school. Oh, yeah,
to the
law
economy
school.
for
The
people
dollar-
that want to call in
Yes.
and bitch about this. This
Yes.
is
The dollar tip I do, that's a part. Like I don't-
Right.
I put like 5%. Like
so
the most you'll spend?
40% to alcohol. 'Cause this is scientific, John. I don't know if you know this or not.
I got to
It's
drink
not
a
like
lot
us
more if you
back in
guys
the
are gonna be
day.
talking like this.
I mean,
40%.
do you ask for phone numbers?
Scientifically
Wait, Eric,
speaking, is there
for-
sex in the champagne room?
I'm losing control again.
Allegedly.
40% goes to
liquor.
liquor. 5% goes to singles.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
making it rain is what we call this.
Yes.
The kids call it making it rain up in the club.
Yeah.
So that means you have 55% of your money left of the $150,
Yeah.
which is basically $78.50. I'm good with the math. What
Thank
do you
God.
do with that $78.50?
Lap dances.
So how many lap dances can you get for $78.50?
Well, each lap dance is like $20 for each lap dance.
20.
So I get like 4.5.
No, they're
4.5.
more. The lap dances are more.
How much are lap dances, Eric?
Yeah, what?
No, Eric, he's talking about at a female strip club.
Exactly.
Right.
Female.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
right.
Their lap dances cost way more
Shipping,
money.
you pay for the
Females have
appendages, so Chip and Dale. Females have
Unless
vaginas.
listen,
All right.
unless it's VIP.
I don't know if our listening audience heard that because a lot of people were talking, but Eric just broke a major news story. Females have vaginas.
Listen.
On that note,
listen,
the
hold
fucking
on.
train is off the tracks. I've been
I-
told to go to break 3
I-
times. We're going
I-
to break. Eric will get you on the
I
flip
went
side.
to Mexico.
Do they smell like candles?
I went to Mexico.
Gwyneth Paltrow candles.
Well, that's Mexico, Eric. They want the
All right, we're
money.
going to break. Jacob, just cut this shit off.
If you are searching for a doctor that truly cares about your overall health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex